Okay, let's unpack this a bit. If you've ever dealt with, official processes, government forms, that kind of thing,
Oh, yeah.
you probably know that little feeling like bracing yourself for maybe some complications.
Definitely. That hope this goes smoothly thought.
Exactly. Maybe it's even crossed your mind with EPF claims. Well, there's actually some really great news on that front.
Mm-hmm.
The EPFO, they've recently introduced some pretty significant changes,
Yeah.
really aimed at making that whole experience much smoother.
Yeah, and what's really interesting here is that these aren't just like tiny tweaks. We're talking about two key reforms that tackle some long-standing pain points in settling EPF claims.
Right.
It sort of signals a shift, I think, towards making things easier for the user, acknowledging that people need efficient ways to access their own money.
Exactly. And that's what we're really diving into today. We've looked closely at these changes, what they actually mean for you, the listener, and frankly, why they're quite a big step forward.
Right.
Our mission here is to cut through any jargon and just get straight to how these reforms make things simpler, faster, and maybe even totally hassle-free.
Sounds good.
So two main updates we're focusing on. First, forget about needing to upload like a picture of your check leaf or bank passbook anymore.
That's a big one.
And second, that step where your employer had to approve linking your bank account with your UAN,
Yeah.
gone.
Uh,
And these aren't small things. They're set to help literally tens of millions of EPF members.
Absolutely. If you look at the bigger picture, it really shows the EPFO is listening and trying to simplify what can feel like a complex system sometimes. So should we start with that first one? The check leaf or passbook image.
Yeah, let's do that. So for quite a while now, when you submitted an online claim, you often had to upload this image, right? A check leaf or your passbook.
Mm-hmm. Standard procedure.
Now, it sounds small, maybe, but
Yeah.
think about it finding the document, getting a clear picture, making sure it uploads okay.
Yeah, the quality could be an issue.
Totally. And if the upload wasn't good enough, your claim could get bounced back. More hassle, more delays, more frustration. We've probably all hit something similar online, haven't we?
Oh, for sure. And the data actually showed this was a real problem. Poor quality uploads, they led to rejections, which then led to grievances.
Mm-hmm.
But importantly, this wasn't just like a sudden decision. They actually piloted this change first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, starting back on May 28th, 2024. And while it worked, about 1.7 crore members benefited just during that initial trial period.
Wow, 1.7 crore. That sounds like a pretty successful test run then.
It does.
So what's the key update now? What's the new rule?
Well, the key update is, based on that successful trial, they've made it permanent for everyone. No more needing to upload that document for your online claims.
That's brilliant. Simple as that. So why? What was the thinking behind dropping that requirement?
The main reason is actually pretty logical when you think about it. When you first link or seed your bank account with your UAN.
Right, the universal account number.
Exactly. The system already verifies that the name on your bank account matches your EPF details then.
Oh, okay.
So that extra step, uploading the image, it was basically redundant. The important check had already happened earlier in the process.
So that makes perfect sense. Like
Yeah.
showing your ID twice for the same thing.
Yeah.
So who gets the immediate benefit here?
Well, the EPFO reckons around 6 crore members will benefit straight away.
6 crore.
Yep. That's 6 crore people who no longer face that potential rejection because of a blurry photo or, an unreadable scan. It cuts out a huge amount of potential hassle.
That is a massive number.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one big headache gone. Now, the second major change. This one tackles another area that often caused delays in employer approval for linking your bank account. Now, this process always felt a bit layered, didn't it?
That's a good way to put it. Let's just walk through the old way quickly.
Okay.
So you needed to link your bank account to your UAN, right, which you need for withdrawal.
Essential, yeah.
You'd put in a request.
Yeah.
Then the bank would verify your info. So far, so good. Uh-huh. But then, even after the bank said, yes, this is correct, your employer had to log in and give their formal approval using their digital signature, their DSC, or e-sign.
Right, that extra employer step. And I guess that's where things could slow down.
Exactly. And the numbers really paint a picture here. In just the financial year 2024-25, there were 1.3 crore requests to link bank accounts.
Wow.
That's like 36,000 requests every single day.
Huge volume.
Yeah. Now, the banks, they're pretty quick, relatively speaking, average about 3 days for verification.
Come on up.
But the employers, on average, they took another 13 days after the bank had already finished their part.
13 days. just for the approval click.
Pretty much. That's a significant delay, isn't it? Especially if you're waiting to get things set up to access your funds.
It really is.
And get this, as of April 3rd, 2025, there are nearly 1.5 million, 14.95 lakh, to be precise, approval requests just sitting there pending with employers.
Whoa. Nearly 1.5 million people waiting.
Yep. A massive backlog. Caused extra work for employers, sure, but more importantly, big delays for members trying to get their accounts linked up.
So what's the game changer now? What's the new rule?
The new rule is, well, it's simple but really impactful. Employer approval is just not required anymore after the bank has done its verification.
Okay.
That whole extra layer of approval, it's been cut out completely.
And the logic behind that, it sounds like maybe that employer step wasn't really adding much security if the bank had already checked everything.
That's precisely it. That's the rationale. The EPFO basically recognized that step wasn't adding much value to the actual verification. The bank's check is the crucial part for confirming the account details.
Right.
It does make you wonder why it stayed for so long, doesn't it? Maybe suggests other areas could be streamlined too.
Interesting point. So that huge backlog you mentioned, nearly 15 lakh pending approvals. What happens to all those now?
Well, the good news is those members, all 14.95 lakh of them, should see things move forward immediately. Since the employer step is gone, their linking should just proceed right after the bank verification is done. It's a huge relief for a lot of people.
That is fantastic news for them. And it's not just for the first time you link your account, is it? I think I read something about changing details, too.
You're absolutely right. This simpler process also works if you need to, say, update your bank account that's already linked.
Okay.
You can just put in the new account number and IFSC code, and then you authenticate it with an Aadhaar OTP. No employer involved.
That's another really good improvement. So for anyone listening who maybe hasn't linked their bank account yet, or perhaps needs to update it, now seems like a much better time to do it.
Absolutely. It's definitely more efficient.
Yeah.
And it encourages everyone to keep their details up to date, which just means smoother, faster claims down the line.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we step back, look at the big picture.
Yeah.
What's the overall impact of these two big reforms? What are the main takeaways for people?
Well, the overarching goal, and the EPFO has been quite clear about this, is improving ease of living for members.
Like you listening.
Exactly. And also boosting ease of doing business for employers by cutting down their administrative burden.
And I'd imagine this will probably lead to fewer of those claim settlement complaints or grievances we talked about earlier.
That's definitely a key expected outcome, yeah. By removing these kinds of friction points and potential delays.
Right.
The EPFO is really actively trying to streamline the whole thing, reduce the hassle, and just give members a better experience overall. It shows a commitment, I think, to making these important services work better for people.
Okay, so just to quickly recap then, make sure we're all clear. Number one, no more needing to upload that check leaf or passbook photo for online claims.
Correct.
And number two, that employer approval step for linking your bank account to your UAN.
Gone. History.
Both changes really designed to make things simpler and hopefully much faster for everyone.
Precisely. It's a definite step towards a more user-friendly system with the EPFO.
So maybe something to think about as you go about your day. How might these changes actually make things easier for you down the road with the EPFO? Perhaps it's even a little nudge to, quickly check if your UAN is linked to your current bank account.
Good point.
And it does make you think, doesn't it? This move towards digital simplification in government services.
Yeah.
Where else could we see similar positive changes? And changes that really put the user first? Definitely some food for thought there.